Legendary warriors. The powers that created us now want us all extinguished. We must join forces, or else forever be their slaves. For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them. Let's roll.
Here in moments.
The ultimate gayless spectacle.
Holy Mother of God on earth and in heaven at the exact same time.
You want a piece of me? You got it!
Good morning, everybody. All aboard. Hope your ticket is punched to come on this journey with yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. the Soulful Conservative. And this is the morning edition of the Dan Adams Show, February 2nd, 2017. It's Groundhog's Day. I just heard on the radio that the groundhog in Punxsutawney saw his shadow. And so we're going to have 6 more weeks of winter, whatever. But more importantly, today is the birthday of my flesh and blood, my son, Jacob Samuel. So Jacob, happy birthday. Your father loves you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Hope your day is filled with surprises and love and kisses. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yes, Jacob, I love you, man. Happy birthday. Be good. We'll see you later, man. Love you. Now, with all the loving festivities out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the crazy, and I mean continuous craziness going on within the Democrat Party of the United States of America. And I'm wondering, I'm seeing right now some rumblings going on over in the UK and their opposition to Theresa May and her budding, flowering relationship with Donald Trump. And she said something that was just absolutely classic when she was dealing with some opposition forces. And I'm going to let her say what she said, excuse me. I am going to let her say what she said because she can say it way better than I can. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mic drop moment. This woman, I like her. I like her a lot. Don't know much about her background and things of that nature, and I will need to do my research on that. But from what I can see and from what I have seen already, it's going to be a slam dunk 4 years of a great relationship between the UK and the United States, from what I can see already. So at least from that standpoint, we know that our ally, Great Britain, is in good hands and will be I guess, person, and I'm using the UK as a singular entity here. The UK will be someone that will have our back, someone that will, go to lengths that most countries in this world didn't do under the 8 years of the Obama presidency. So I am so grateful and glad that the foundation has been laid. And I'm hoping that the relationship grows and grows and grows between President Donald J. Trump and Prime Minister Theresa May of the UK. Now, as I was talking and engaging about the craziness going on in the Democrat Party here in America, I don't even know what to say. Don't even know where to start this morning but I am going to start here. Now, my man Milo, my main man Milo, was in Berkeley yesterday trying to speak with those young folk over there, but there were some protests to the point where police were called out where they were told to stand down. Did that sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Police being called out and being told to stand down. Authority being told to stand down because you have some immature, no ball sack having snowflakes who can't deal with the fact that, number one, and I posted this last night before I went to sleep, that you can't be gay. You cannot be gay and be a Republican. You have to be a Democrat. Because if for some reason, because we all know that Milo was a conservative, how in the world can a conservative, a Republican, be gay? Really? You know how dumb that sounds? You know how idiotic that sounds? And as I'm saying it, as it's coming out of my mouth, I can't believe I just said it. But you can be gay only if you're a Democrat. You can fight for women's rights, but only if you're a Democrat. You can be a Muslim, but only if you're a Democrat. You can be, in quotations, black, but only if you're a Democrat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how obscene of a statement is that? I know you're saying, wow, wow. I've been thinking that and been railing against that for years. But it just, hopefully that I put it in a way and formed it in a statement that people can look at it and say, yeah, that's how it is. And it's utterly mind-boggling. It's to the point where reality and what's the word I'm looking for right now? You know, when you go to a particular movie at the movie theater, suspense. Reality and suspense. Reality and I guess when you look at sometimes, and I'm not going to say every time here, let's just make that the point of the moment. Sometimes, you know, when you're like in between waking up and having a dream, and it's that one moment where you're waking up and you're like, no, I don't want to wake up because the dream is so good. That's where these people are on the left. They are in perpetual la-la land. The REM, rapid eye movement going on with them people in regards to the sleep and the dreams that they feel that us living in this world need to have. In regards to, we need to be on our toes in regards to their agenda, their ideology. We need to somehow come aboard and just abandon the principles that we have. Now you're saying, well, that's what we're saying on our side for them to do. No. To be honest, I want them to have their own reckoning. I want them to have their own enlightenment moment. I want them to have their own come to Jesus, as they say, moment. I'm going to continue to rail against their agenda and their ideology, but we don't, on this side, don't force or try to ram down people's throats or try to shame people into coming to their side. That's not how we do. That's not how I do. I don't know about you. That's not how I do. I just continue to present facts and live my life in a manner that hopefully is a, I guess, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? If me being who I am, a Christian conservative, sets the example for you and maybe possibly those in your family, those that you know, those that you come in contact with, who may be of the liberal mindset. If me being a Christian conservative and leading the path of conservatism, leading on the path of patriotism, allowing the Constitution of the United States of America be the light that is shown for those across this land in regards to the rule of law. It's not some parchment paper, Barack Hussein Obama. You want this thing to be a living, breathing document. It is in the aspect of this, and not in the way that you want it, because you want to change so many aspects of it. But it is a living and breathing document in this way. The founding fathers put in place an infrastructure. The founding fathers put in place a framework. And they knew back then how man was, and put in provisions to allow the people, not the government, but the people, to take back power. And unfortunately, as years have gone by and the federal government growing as it has, individuals living in the United States of America have allowed the federal government to spawn into something that is just unattainable and out of control. And with the Convention of States that is at our disposal, that is at our fingertips, that we can uproot right now, I don't understand how we are not exercising that right that the founding fathers gave us in the Constitution, that allows states to take back power from the federal government. I'm looking for those, and I don't know. I really don't know what needs to be done, because you have some individuals like Mark Levin and others who have been preaching about the Convention of States, but no one seems to want to take it seriously. I don't know what I can do on my end. Maybe just talking about it right now, whoever may hear this, maybe they'll get inspired. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to, I guess, for those out there who just don't have a voice like mine, not in the sense of you don't know how to speak and you don't have anything to say. I am talking about the voice that is so loud in some aspects, but in the realm of being able to speak in public, being able to speak and not be worried or concerned about any type of clapback from anyone, whether it's family, friends, work, the Joe Schmo down the street. If I am trying to put forth a coalition, and I am gonna take that word back, because unfortunately, in the past 8 years of Barack, can't even say his name. Don't even want to say it, but it's coming out wrong. Barack Hussein Obama's presidency, coalition was used a lot, and not in the way that we normal folk out here use it. So I am taking the word coalition back, and I am going to use it in a manner that is proper. I am going to use it in a manner that is inspiring. I am going to use it in a manner that hopefully will achieve results. So I am trying to build a coalition of grassroots conservatives, those who may have some type of following but aren't big like the Mark Levins of the world, and hopefully build that coalition where it builds up momentum, where those out there in the mainstream media can no longer ignore us. And with all of the revelations in regards to the complicit relationship between the mainstream media and the Democrat Party, you would think that they would tone it down in regards to how they put forth their fake news. Because 99% of it is fake news. It may be a topic that is of substance, that actually has happened or is happening. But when they put their spin on it and not just bring you the facts, that's when it turns to fake news, ladies and gentlemen. As my wife and I have conversations with our son. Once again, happy birthday. Love you, Jake. When we have conversations with our son and we try to explain to him about the lamestream media of today and what we used to have when we grew up, it is such a juxtaposition. It is the total opposite of each other. Today, these people, these anchors, these so-called journalists want to put their opinions into these news pieces that they put out. No, you just put the facts in it, ladies and gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen of the lamestream media. I don't want to hear that you don't like Trump. I don't want to hear that you don't like Republicans. I don't want to hear that you hate this or you hate that. Just the facts, Jack. Now, with that said, do you think, ladies and gentlemen, that the lamestream media is going to listen to me? Of course not. Even though I clap back at them, I go after the likes of Jake Tapper and them at CNN. And once in a while, I actually get a response from Jake Tapper. So for that aspect of things, I got to give him props for that. You know, the Mark Lamont Hills and the Michael Eric Dysons and that ilk, the Simone Sanders, the Bakari Sellers, you know, all these black folk who think they're smarter than any other black person on the planet. You know, us mediocre Negroes, as Mark Lamont Hill stated. And I just posted a story last night, and I'm going to end my particular segment of the show for this morning, February 2nd, 2017, the Dan Adams Show, the morning edition. Seems as if it takes an event for, I guess, an unbelievable cascade of events to start happening. Did you read about the story in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, where gang members wants to meet with Trump so they can start figuring out how to stop the violence in Chicago? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right. Your ears are not dysfunctional in any manner. You heard right. Gang members in Chicago, facilitated via Pastor Darrell Scott, wants to have talks with Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of the United States, and figure out how to end the violence in Chicago. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had a black, and I'm putting in quotes, black president who did everything in his power to not help the black community, did everything in his power to push aside, to completely ignore the black community in America. So the first black president couldn't have the gumption or the know-how or the wherewithal or the reach, and I guess in this case the genuineness. But yet we have a 70-something-year-old white dude who just became president, who those on the left, the Democrats and the liberals in this country, who feel they have taken a claim in regards to the black community. No, it's taking a Republican president, 70-something-year-old white dude, to somehow make an impression to gang members in Chicago. They want to meet up with him to figure out how to end the violence in Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, for everything that has been said about President Trump, you have got to give him credit for this. If anything else, this one. Being it is Black History Month. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for the morning edition of the Dan Adams Show. Here it is, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, a.k.a. my son Jacob's birthday. Happy birthday once again. Love you. God bless you. May God continue to bless you and your families. May he keep you and your families safe. And until next time, God bless. Peace.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. President Trump on Twitter is questioning whether the University of California, Berkeley should lose federal funding for not allowing free speech and allowing violence against people with a different point of view. Protests, peaceful, and then not shut down a speech there. Here's Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Well, the speech by Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos was canceled following those violent protests last night during his appearance at UC Berkeley. Demonstrators gathered, hurling metal barricades and setting a fire on a campus plaza.
This campus is well known for its free speech stance. No group should hesitate to have an event here out of fear.
That's UC Berkeley Police Chief Margot Bennett. UC Berkeley's college Republicans had invited Yiannopoulos to discuss what he calls political correctness on college campuses. Chris.
And Tanya, the president's also tweeting about Iran this morning. More on that from Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington.
Chris, President Trump says Iran is formally on notice for firing a ballistic missile, echoing National Security Advisor General Michael Flynn, who condemned Tehran's actions.
Instead of being thankful to the United States in these agreements, Iran is now feeling emboldened.
The president also tweeted that Iran was on its last legs and was ready to collapse until the U.S. came along and gave it a lifeline in the form of the Iran deal. Iran's defense minister confirmed the launch and said it did not violate the nuclear deal. Chris.
Rachel, thanks. President Trump's environment and budget cabinet picks are supposed to have committee votes today. And the Groundhog Day weather prediction from Punxsutawney Phil in Pennsylvania, translated into English here by a guy in a top hat.
My faithful followers, I clearly see a perfect, clear shadow of me. 6 more weeks of winter, it shall be.
But there's a competing forecast from Staten Island Chuck, a groundhog in New York, predicting an early spring. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
We first opened about 10 years ago. We were small, just a few of us, but it was exciting. I always dreamt of having my own business. It was kind of slow at first, but things started picking up. We had big plans. But in our wildest dreams, we never thought we'd have this much work. Yeah, with so many businesses caught off guard by the storm, Reed Waste Management has never been busier.
What will become of your business after a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now, before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
It took a jury in Princeton, West Virginia, less than an hour to convict a man of murdering his ex-wife. Prosecutors say William C. Seal stabbed Ashley Seal 86 times. She'd gone to his apartment to pick up some things after her wedding to another man. Seal's attorney argued that she came at him with the knife, and this was self-defense. One more Republican defection against Betsy DeVos, with every Democrat expected to vote no, would mean President Trump needs to choose a new education secretary. That's unless someone changes their mind. Right now, the vote stands at 50-50.
The vice president can break ties in the Senate. According to the Senate Historical Office, never before in the history of the Republic has there been a vote by the vice president to break a tie to confirm a cabinet nominee. And that is potentially what we're looking at here. If you have 52 Republican votes and 2 Republican defectors, Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, that gets you a 50-50 vote. That would be quite a scene if Mike Pence, the vice president, were to break that tie and propel her to become the education secretary on a 51-50 vote.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. President Trump's about to speak at the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington.
The first Thursday of each February is set aside for the breakfast, usually drawing around 3,000 or so attendees. And having the president there is not unusual. Every president since Dwight Eisenhower has made at least one appearance. The general program and message is as one might think, political and spiritual leaders coming together to discuss the impact of faith and prayer on them and the nation. In addition to elected officials, the prayer breakfast over the years has welcomed a British Prime Minister, a NASCAR Hall of Famer, and even Mother Teresa back in 1994. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
College football national signing day is done with Alabama once again snapping up the best recruits according to most of the rankings. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just got invited to the prom. Do you A, meet her date?
I need to see your past date report cards, your driver's license, a list of references, and this hair sample.
B, help her pick out a dress.
Don't you just love the long sleeves and turtleneck on this pantsuit?
Ugh.
C, attend the prom undercover.
Mom, what are you doing here?
I'm not Mom. I'm Calvin, the new kid at school.
Or D, capture her big moment.
Let's take a photo of you two. I'm in the middle.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Let's get back to the basics, details so minute you can't trace it. So don't put a wrench in the works. Please sit down and leave it to the experts. I don't have time for resistance. Read the fine print before getting into this. It may be unsavory to your health, because my lyrics are stealth under the radar. Better yet, invisible, climbing to the top. There is no equal. The drum brothers sent me this funky track so I can react, full contact, all out, abandon, controlled aggression. Let's see who can make it through the session of interrogation and the scrutiny. No match for my lyrical infantry. This jazzy hip-hop soul is making you lose control, transcending space and time with this funky rhyme. Now it's all in your mind. This jazzy hip-hop soul is making you lose control, transcending space and time with this funky rhyme. Now it's all in your mind. Paralyzed, hypnotized, my thoughts describe your first impression, the lesson that's been learned. Please take heed, don't fall into the realm of greed that haunts MCs today. Not being preachy, it's an emergency. All points bulletin has been issued. Just like a swamp bomb, let me diffuse the tension that may build. My vibe medicates, so take this pill. Rhymes fulfilled and bless the congregation. Never shaking my deep concentration. Red hot like cayenne pepper. Sweat hits the paper on this hip-hop leather. No more whackness I can take. And then this right coming back from the break. This jazzy hip-hop soul is making you lose control, transcending space and time with this funky rhyme. Now it's all in your mind. This jazzy hip-hop soul is making you lose control, transcending space and time with this funky rhyme. Now it's all in your mind. I have 1 minute to spare. Make sure my point comes across. Never looked in the flaws to decay. Peep the resume speaks for itself with musical wealth, indefinite, lyrically infinite, always on the rise like the nation's deficit. I have many methods to choose from, earning every quarter which proceeds the order. Timeline's corrupted, it seems much shorter. Defragmenting your rhymes won't make a difference. Let's suspend this other nonsense, let's refocus. The task at hand needs finish, never lackadaisical with the lyrical concepts that I tend to push. Truly amazed like the burning bush, no doubt. This jazzy hip-hop soul is making you lose control, transcending space